It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 74. Hear, O ye, my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt. For the Most High is your God, and the God of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord God. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. All right, and before I get started, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and may peace be bestowed unto you, hopefully elect. All right, mercy, protection, strength, and overall, just the blessing of election overall to you, hopefully elect once again. I'm your brother Yowakal from Great Millstone, and being that Apostle Tahar coined the year or the hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction of Esau, roughly paraphrasing, as we know or should know, before we enter into the kingdom, we must go through much tribulation. And we're, from what it appears, getting closer and closer to that time of tribulation, and more so tribulation for the world. It's just a matter of being preserved due to said perils, as it tells us in 2 Ezra 9. All right, because it's been 2024 has been one hell of a year, very prophetic, very eventful. And the last few weeks, few months, so to say, I'll say, have been fairly quiet for the most part. And it's almost an eerie feeling. It's almost that feeling, the quiet before the storm, or rather the because in the midst of the storm, you have what they call the eye of the hurricane, the eye of the storm, right? Because like I said, 2024, it was been one hell of a eventful year. Like I said, the last month or two of the year, and things seem to be kind of fairly quiet. And I take that as the being in the eye of the storm, because the storm's not over yet, and Lord willing, it appears that things are getting ready to ramp up. Brothers can't express it enough, which is really the Spirit of the Lord, speaking through brothers, when it just comes to being circumspect, being careful in how we move in our daily lives, not getting too caught up into the things of this life, as life as we know it is about to change very dramatically. All right. And of course, Lord willing, that day doesn't catch us like a thief in the night, because it's looking like, it has started. And of course, I could be wrong. I speak as a man. But as far as the invasions, these attacks, these T attacks, all right. Lord willing, this is the domino effect. Because we're gonna see more, as it's been said, more of these attacks. The virgin daughter of Babylon is about to become an unvirgin. All right, she's about to get her cherry popped. And being that America has never seen warfare touched this land. All right. You know, hasn't seen America hasn't seen war on American soil. You know, these people have a certain attitude of normacy bias, you know, and ultimately just a proud attitude overall, you know, which is going to catch these people off guard when things start to happen here on American soil. All right. You know, with that being said, I got this video here by Michael Cohen, which, you know, I watch certain of these channels such as Michael Cohen for more so because, you know, a lot of these guys, they go into the economy and economics and you know, certain things pertaining to that nature. But there's a certain spirit out here that the Lord has, to where the scriptures say, I will pour my spirit upon all flesh. Because even certain videos that I watch on my downtime, you know, certain comedians that I watch, you know, gamers, you know, again, for basically just, you know, for some entertainment when I'm on my folly time. But again, there's a certain spirit to where even these guys, these people, whether comedians, TikTok influencers or whatever, you know, certain channels that you watch about vehicles, you know, everyone is basically getting into these current events, you know, prophetic events, speaking on these, you know, certain of these events, prophetic things, you know. You know, we're in an age where everyone wants to be a prophet now, you know, so it's just, again, the Lord has a certain spirit out there, you know. But nevertheless, again, I got this video here by Michael Cohen. You know, I'm gonna play the full video and you see the title. All right. Because, you know, in light of these recent attacks the past few days, what's today? Today's the 2nd of January, the so-called New Year, you know. And as I was, you know, just going into this, just paying attention, you know, there's actually been another quote unquote, you know, terrorist attack. All right, another attack. I think it was in Queens, if I'm not mistaken, as we speak. It's a developing story, of course. You know, so, and that just happened overnight, you know. But of course, you just had this attack. What was that? And bear with me real quick, because, you know, there's so much going on, and of course, it's hard to keep up. But this recent attack about the what was that, man? Of the out there in New Orleans, right? You just had this cyber truck that exploded in front of the Trump Tower, or hotel rather. You know, and there's I mean, you know, more developing stories, you know, more developing narratives. So that's why I said, hey, Lord willing, you know, maybe this could be the domino effect of, you know, what we've been talking about, as far as America getting invaded. Maybe this is the awakening of the sleeper cells, you know, with this whole talk of the open border crisis, right? Maybe this is the activation of the sleeper cells, you know. And with that being said, again, I got this video here. I got it fast forwarded because I want to play the whole video. And just through the spirit, I'll interject when the spirit said so. So without further ado, I'm going to play this video. And of course, I'll put the link in the description. If you're going to watch it, check it out. And of course, I want to, copyright disclaimer. I'm not making any type of monetary gain. All right. This is strictly for informational purposes only. All right. So without further ado.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an absolutely shocking story to share with you. When I saw this was absolutely insane. This former CIA officer was interviewed extensively for 2 hours on the Sean Ryan show 2 weeks ago and called it to the T, to the exactness, exactly what was going to happen today. She said what they've been doing, what they've been training. She said there's over 1,000 Al-Qaeda fighters in the US training or have trained already for the next homeland attack. And again, it gave me chills how accurately this former CIA officer called exactly what was going to happen today. This is urgent, everyone. This will probably be my most important video I do this year. You need to be aware of what is happening and what is going to happen. This is literally a life or death situation.
Mid-Florida will put $200 in your pocket to spend however you want.
Going to happen. This is...
And even with that, because I watched the Sean Ryan show, a lot of the war vets, they basically just go into their accounts of, what they've seen and whatnot. But as of recently, dealing with the Sean Ryan show, and I did a video recently about a guest on the Ryan show. As of recently, I've been noticing dealing with the Sean Ryan show, because like I said, there's a spirit, a certain spirit that the Lord has out there. The Lord pouring out His Spirit upon all flesh, right? What was that? Wisdom of Solomon. Bear with me real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 12. Wisdom of Solomon 12:1. For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things. So, there's no limit when it comes to how Yahweh Shemel Shah can communicate His message. All right. There's no limit. The Lord's Spirit, he can work however He pleases. He can pretty much speak to anything. The Lord is directly involved in everything. So, I just say that to say again, I've been noticing on the Sean Ryan show, a lot of, guests. I can kind of see the conversation is moving towards more so things pertaining to the Most High, a higher power, angels, so-called UFOs, spiritualism, and things like that. But there was this one guest, and that's what this video is basically based off of, which I seen some of it, see more so a lot of clips. But there's one particular chick, which again, I'm going to go ahead and play because, he's going to go on to describe.
Literally a life or death situation. I do not want to make these videos. It'll be much easier for me just to make finance videos talking about the stock market. My last video where I did about the cyber attack explosion out front of Trump Tower's office instantly got demonetized and is now being shadow banned in the YouTube algorithm, being heavily suppressed. I'm risking my channel. I'm risking everything to bring you this information because YouTube, the government does not want you to know this. This is not me exaggerating, everyone. I have the details here to prove to you. And this former CIA officer predicted exactly what was going to happen today. And it's about to get much, much worse. They know they're running out of time. They know they need to do these attacks before a lot of them get found out, before a lot of them get deported, with the Middle East conflict escalating and the US getting more and more involved in Syria, in Lebanon, getting closer and closer to a direct conflict with Iran. This has never been more serious, okay? We can't just put our heads in the sand and ignore it because your family could be affected. So you need to be informed right now. So everyone, without further ado, let's get into this article and let's listen to the interview. Again, it gave me chills how accurately she predicted exactly what was going to happen. So look at this. Former CIA officer warns 1,000 Al-Qaeda fighters in the US for next homeland attack. And we all know what happened. If you've been, living underneath a rock for the last 24 hours, there was the attack in New Orleans, and now there was an attack in Las Vegas. And who knows, it's not at the end of the new year. We could still have more attacks happen. But we'll get into that footage in a moment of her predicting it to the T. But let's just go over this article. So a recent discussion on the Sean Ryan show, which again is this. Go ahead and watch this. 2 weeks ago, Okay, I'll go ahead and move myself here so you can see it. 2 weeks ago, she predicted, is the Pentagon ignoring the most dangerous threat of all? And look, a lot of people commenting 2 weeks ago, this should be #1 trending. Everyone in America needs to hear this. Imagine if they did hear this. Rogan needs to have her on. I'd rather hear Sean interview her, but more people need to be introduced. And look, someone commented 11 hours ago, because now a lot of people are coming back to this interview and says, literally watch this morning and walk into the living room afterwards and see the news in New Orleans. Another person commented, this is such a prophetic interview. Sadly, please invite her for a follow-up interview following the tragedy in New Orleans and now in Las Vegas. So,
and you see, I'm gonna grab this real quick because responses like that, and that's why I say bad news to the world is usually our good news. All right, because like the one comment said, right? Sadly, it's prophetic, but nah, man, we rejoice. And if you're in the right spirit, you ought to be rejoicing. I'm gonna grab this. If I can find it, bear with me. Because these are all more tall tale signs that we're in the end. All right. Isaiah 9. As we're getting closer and closer, like they say, man, the light at the tunnel, man. Hey, we see the light, man. As the scripture say, till the day dawning and the day star arise in your hearts. We see the light, man. We see the end. We're at the end of the end. And hey, we ought to rejoice. Isaiah 9:3. Thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. They joy before thee according to the joy in harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. All right. And again, because we're at the end. All right. And the more and more we see these prophetic events, the more and more we see the words of the Lord come to pass, we ought to be rejoicing. All right. Versus these people, hey, the more and more, like I said, that their joy is not increased, but we rejoice. So continue on.
Again, absolutely insane. So the interview offers significant insights into what may be unfolding as Al-Qaeda sleeper cells could be activating in the wake of the New Orleans terrorist attack and a possible vehicle-borne improvised explosion device, that's VBIED, in the rear of a rented Tesla Cybertruck that exploded outside Trump hotels in Las Vegas just hours later. And again, they were rented from the same company. So let's get into this interview where also Sean Ryan, if you don't know, he's a former Navy SEAL as well. He's very respected. He doesn't just post, fake news. He back checks everything they say. And we know this is not fake news. He predicted this exactly. So let's go ahead and bring this up here. I'll move myself. I'll move this so you guys can see.
I just want to clarify. You are 100% certain that there are 1,000 plus Al-Qaeda trained fighters within the United States borders?
Well, Al-Qaeda says they trained and deployed 1,000 for this attack. First off, I think there's more than 1,000
Again, for this attack, she called it exactly
Al-Qaeda members in the United States. But for the Homeland attack, that number is based on what Al-Qaeda is saying, so they could exaggerate it. However, they did have about 1,400 in the Hamas attack, so the number is not off from what they did in the first round of attacks.
How old is this information?
I mean, it's ongoing. So the training's already done, right? So all the training info is now old because they...
So again, the training's already done. Should probably go ahead and turn this down here. It must be too loud for you guys. She said the training's already done. It's already undergoing. And again, she called it to the exactness. It did exactly happen. So let's scroll down. He tweeted here again. Let's go to his tweet. So CIA, I'll go ahead and adjust it so you guys can see. CIA targeted, we have not had a man walk up to a building in America. Well, I can't say that word here on YouTube. Sarah Adams outlines the enemy's plan for 2025 Homeland attack. And again, I can't play this video because this will be heavily suppressed in the algorithm, but she details exactly what they're going to do, how they're training them to do these attacks where they're not coming here to fight, they're running away. They're going to fight to the death. Let's go ahead and read this. The terrorist attack on Bourbon Street, along with the postponement of the sugar.
And I do believe this. I think they were saying about the guy that with the whole Cybertruck explosion in front of the Trump Tower or hotel or whatever. That the pretty much the individual unalived himself. So again, Lord willing, this is the domino effect of these series of attacks. And watching again, because I saw this video or the interview with this chick and Sean Ryan on the Sean Ryan show, which was fairly recent. It's a recent interview. So let's play.
At Caesars Superdome in New Orleans suggested something larger is unfolding. There's far too much of this happening when an attack on our homeland emanating from Afghanistan occurs. The resulting moral injury will be catastrophic. Those who serve deserve far better than this, she wrote hours before the attack on Tuesday night. That's exactly right. She predicted this. Meanwhile, General Mike Flynn, who served as National Security Advisor in the Trump administration, wrote, again, it is not what you call it in the end that matters. What matters is there was intelligence prior in some agency or department and it wasn't acted upon. That's right. They have blood on their hands. Why are they doing this? Do they want chaos to happen? A failure of decision makers was not a failure of intelligence. Prevention is what we shoot for, and that is what's hard for intelligent doers. That's the hard work of what intelligence does. If you don't follow it and hunt down every lead, then you end up in a reactive situation after the fact. This tragically is where we are for what should have been a very joyous occasion. That's exactly right. So he tweeted.
So you see, let me grab this Revelation 6 because, of course, they want this to happen. It's what you call a controlled demolition. All right, Revelation 6. Revelation 6:3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. So you see, because, Yahweh Shema Shah is using Esau, the so-called white man. All right, this is that red power. All right, going into basically the red Hebrew Edomites. All right, like you read in Genesis, Esau came out red like an hairy garment. All right, this is who this is going into. And like I said, power was given to him to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And as it tells you in the book of Ezekiel, that sword is being sharpened, that it may be furbished. All right. And again, Lord willing, the Heavenly Father is finally going to put the spirit on these devils to make their moves already. All right. Because, of course, they're going to blame these, other, nations. Right. Whatever the case may be, don't be surprised if they blame Israelites. At some point we know that they're gonna label, somehow group us in the category of domestic, domestic teas. All right, so don't even be surprised if they, come up with the black Hebrew Israelite extremists or whatever, But it's all orchestrated. All right. Again, it's a controlled demolition.
I don't call it the T attack. This is what it is. That's right. When you call it for what it is, it's an act of terror. And I'll play some of this clip here of where she predicts in detail what's going to happen.
We have not had a man walk into a building with a suicide vest on the United States. Americans don't understand this. Al-Qaeda knows this, right?
I'll go ahead and turn it down. Yeah, it's very loud.
Right, so this is new and innovative, especially now. You don't have to walk outside of the building. You can walk in the building because of the advancement of the vest. The other thing is, in the United States, we haven't had Fideian attackers. So the concept is the terrorist fights to the death. So he's not exactly a suicide bomber, but he will fight till either all...
This is exactly what the truck driver did. He got out, ran over a bunch of people, then got out and started shooting police until their death.
All of us are dead, or all of his people are dead. We think it's going to be a swarming attack, right? Multiple different attacks at one time across multiple cities.
Called it exactly. She said a swarm attack. There'll be multiple attacks across multiple cities.
I think there will be suicide bombers just because some of the attackers went through suicide bomber training and they have these vests. And then we think there's these Fideian attackers who will carry on until they're killed.
Just rephrase that. So these guys are trained and they...
So real quick, I'm going to grab this. But before I grab that, I encourage you to watch just the beginning scene. I'm trying to pull this movie up. I think it's the Sakari, the second one. I just want to pull it up just in case. Or Sicarios, I meant. Bear with me real quick. Because what they're describing, again, predictive programming. So yeah, if you look up Sicario, the Day of Solado, it's the beginning scene. The supermarket bombing. Where you had the so-called TS just walk up in a grocery store and basically, detonate themselves. And this is pretty much what they're describing. And multiple of these attacks going off at once, in multiple places throughout Babylon, right? If you haven't seen the movie Homestead, I encourage you to watch it. Now, of course, Esau, he's going to put his Christian-like spirit in there. Esau, he's got to put that form of hope for the people, and brothers pretty much have a high expectation, so don't expect it to be, because like when Civil War came out, Civil War wasn't as good as a lot of us thought it was going to be. All right, but Homestead is definitely a must watch, especially the ending, because you had the pretty much the whole movie is based off of a pocket nuke going off, or I think it was rather in EMP that had went off, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was over there in California, if I'm not mistaken. Let me grab this in Jeremiah 51 in verse 14. And Yahweh of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So you see, in caterpillars, what do they do? They destroy the vegetation. All right. And again, with this whole so-called open border crisis and the letting in of these, illegals, and it's all just a recipe for disaster. All right. What else was I going to get? Oh, Second Esdras 15. Second Esdras 15. And as I'm looking for this, I'm just going ahead and play this out.
Are going to fight until they're killed.
Yes, and that matters, right? So I was watching this video, and it was a suicide bombing in Kabul years ago. The bomber blew up, and then everyone starts moving in, the first responders move in, right? And then another guy walks in and blows up. We know this is a tactic. But if Americans don't understand this is a tactic and don't understand these attackers are going to fight to the death, think about that. Battle's going on, the attacker surrenders. He might have the suicide vest.
And we all know if he surrenders, the police can't do anything. They have their protocols they have to follow.
We let our guard down. That man came to die, right? He's going to fight till he dies or you die. So we can't let our guards down, and they know our weakness. So we have to be very careful that we don't have more people die in the second and third order.
So you see, man, and like I said, man, I got to play it up. I got to sped up just for the sake of time. But again, if you want to watch it in slow motion or whatever the case may be, watch it regular. I'll leave the link in the description. But America's not ready for this. Long story short, America's not ready. America's not ready for what's getting ready to happen. All right, the series of attacks, however it plays out, these Babylonians, they're not going to be ready.
Effects of not knowing their intent.
So that's right. They'll bring everyone in and then they'll detonate. It's absolutely insane. So according to a federal source close to the counterterrorism community, some of the latest intelligence briefings have indicated that pre-trained al-Qaeda terrorists have entered the US through the Biden-Harris administration open southern border. So that's exactly right, everyone. That's why I've been calling on. They need to close the border. They need to secure the border, because now Americans are dead because they did not do it, because they want to be woke, because they don't want to be seen as racist, because they think they just go to the extreme. Yes, we should allow people to migrate to the US, but they go from either letting anyone migrate, even if they're terrorists, even if they're criminals, otherwise you're a racist. So they just went all the way to the left of the extreme, and now we're all about to pay the consequences for this. So the Biden-Harris administration's disastrous exit from Afghanistan gave rise to al-Qaeda's global jihad, and one is that these alleged terrorist cells operating within the US would soon be active had Kamala Harris won the presidential election. Well, I think it's still too late. It doesn't matter who's in charge. They're getting activated now. So could the Bourbon Street massacre be al-Qaeda's opening act of coordinated attack on homeland described by Sarah, or are the public preemptive warnings and attempts to fearmonger more aggressive domestic surveillance and ensure funding is maintained under Doge? Well, I think either way, it is very, very bad and very, very alarming, everyone. So you need to be hyper vigilant. I don't want to be going to any big, huge events until things calm down. Again, there's 1,000 al-Qaeda fighters in the US. They've let this happen. They're not looking after you. They're not protecting you. They tell you you shouldn't be able to protect yourself. And this is the consequence we're all paying. So we need to hold our leaders accountable and tell them we need to secure the border at whatever cost. So what do you guys think about this? I thought this was very prophetic and amazing just how accurately she called it. Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.
So you see, man, hey, I'm going to get this in Second Esdras 5 and 8. Because again, this type of these Babylonians in overall, man, they're not ready for what's getting ready to happen. However it plays out, whether it's just one singular, pocket nuke that detonates in one city, or however it plays out, multiple attacks, simultaneous, however it plays out. All right, these Babylonians aren't ready. Second Esdras 5 and 8, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. And we see this. We see this on all bouts. You know, there's a thing out here in Florida where because like I mentioned, the monsters, the wild beasts changing their places. It's a thing out here in Florida, man, where people, you know, I saw one account where an elderly woman, she heard a knock on her door. She thought it was a person. She thought it was an individual knocking on her door, but it was a gator. She opened the door and the gator took her ass, man. You know, that's the thing out here. You know, gators, climbing through people's little dog holes. You know, bears opening people's front doors. You know, looking for food, and you know. But the point being, it mentioned the confusion in many places. All right, because what's getting ready to happen, however it plays out, man, these people, they're not ready. All right, they're not ready. You know, and hey, brothers, Lord willing, you know, speaking as a man, because that day's not going to catch us like a thief in the night. You know, Lord willing, when this thing goes down, however it plays out, man, you know, brothers probably gonna be, you know, sipping yan, you know, calling brothers up, you know, giving praises to you. How about Shemal Shai? You know, until we're actually in the thick of it, you know, because of course, you know, it's not to say that we're not gonna be here. It's not. I'm not saying it in a sense like we're, you know, just gonna be in the clouds like these fake phony Christians teach that you're just gonna get beamed up before the tribulation. No, we're gonna be here, you know. But as it's progressively getting worse, you know, because we do it now. You know, we see certain of these things. We post it in the chats. All right, you know, brothers call other brothers. Oh, hey, did you hear? You know, we're excited. You know, as I read in Isaiah 93, we rejoice at the harvest. You know, but I could just imagine, you know, as this thing progresses, and things just get worse, man. You know, and people are running around like a chicken with its head cut off. You know, brothers, hey, stability is going to be wisdom and knowledge is going to be our stability. All right. And the fear of the Lord is going to be our treasure. So again, Lord willing, that day's not going to catch us like a thief in the night, man. You know, but I was going to grab this in 2 Kings 15 in verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision in the appearance thereof from the east, so-called Middle East. All right. It says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And you see, because of this whole conflict going on in the so-called Middle East, all right, with the state of Israel, you know, those small hats, all right, Hamas, and, you know, going all the way up, you know, with Yemen, you know, going all the way up to the so-called Iranians, you know, it is causing those so-called Arab nations to unite, you know, and like the scripture said, the least of the flock shall draw them out, you know, talking about the state of Israel over there, you know, how they're causing all this turmoil, you know, again, it's causing all those, because at one point those so-called Middle Eastern nations, those Arab nations, they were divided, but now they're more and more becoming united, you know. And like I said, they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So, hey, it's prophetic. You know, we're going to start seeing attacks on American soil, and it's going to far outdo. And again, it's all orchestrated. That's why I read that Revelation 6. All right. By the power of Yahweh Shema Shah on the left hand, you know, the least they're orchestrating this. All right. Because from the chaos, it comes to order. All right. This is how they establish order. And we've seen that a small example of that with 9/11. All right. You know, after 9/11, things changed. The world changed. All right. You see that, and that was just a small example, because there's going to be some event that's going to far outdo 9/11, man. You know, it's going to make 9/11 look like a walk in the park. You know, so just imagine again with the change of 9/11 alone. Just imagine the change that's going to come with this major event. You know, there's a much more, you know, catastrophic event. You know, but nevertheless, it is prophetic. All right. America, because that's when it mentions wasting the portion of the land of the Assyrians, talking about America. All right. And as I always say, America real soon is about to be totally unrecognizable. This place is going to be worse than a third world country. All right. America's pretty much already a third world country, but it's only going to get worse from here. You know, it's only going to get worse. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. So you see, man, hey, them cats, man, they have no problem unaliving themselves. You know, they think that they're going to get 72 virgins, you know, and so on and so forth. All right. They're going to remember their nature. All right. And it's cold because me and the brother Aria, and I've been noticing this more and more. You know, when we go out to international to teach, we're seeing a lot more of the we're seeing a lot more of the so-called Middle Eastern, you know, culture. You know, a lot of, especially the women, you know, dressed up in their traditional attire. You know, we're seeing a lot of that. You know, when we go out to international. You know, it says, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then shall these be troubled. Then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them. And in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. So you see, man, America's about to get got, man. And again, you know, Lord willing, this is the domino effect of that. You know, more series of attacks, man. We're only the second day in of the so-called New Year, and like I said, as we speak, there's been another attack out there in Queens. You know, as we speak. You know, what is it? 4:30 in the morning. You know, it's really the only thing. Really, the only good thing about working these night shifts. You know, you kind of keep up with certain things. You know, get some studying in, watching videos and stuff. You know, and I caught that as I'm on this night shift. Like I said, there's been another T attack out there in Queens, you know, and there's going to be more to come, you know. So Lord willing, this is the domino effect. All right. But again, you can watch the video if you want. Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.